Alright guys, Patriot back out here with you tonight. If you've been following the Candle Power Forums thread, you'll know that I'm out here doing this again because I didn't set my exposures correctly on my camera. So we're going to redo the beam shots, and I'm going to double check everything, and we'll start. We're going to start with the wide beam shots. I've got a wall behind me at about 15 yards, and I'll show you what these lights look like. Here we go. As you can see, it's nice and dark out. I'm going to compare the wide beam of the TK51 to a couple of other lights that tend to have wider beams. One's going to be the PD35. Let's go ahead and start with the PD35, and I'll show you what that beam looks like. Here we go. This is going to be on high. All these lights will be on high. Okay, there's the PD35. You can see a pretty hot, pretty intense hot spot right there in the middle. There's not a lot of transition between the flood beam and that center hot spot. It's rather sharp. With that said, this is a fantastic hiking light. It's only got one cell. It's very efficient, easy to recharge. It's lightweight. All around, just a great hiking light. Decent throw out of this light for what it is. But there it is on high. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the zebra light. Okay, this is going to be the zebra light H600 on high. I'm actually wearing it on my head here. Here it goes. See, it's a little bit smoother transition between the center hotspot and the spill. A little bit wider beam. It's also very slightly warmer than the PD35, which I kind of like. Between these two lights, boy, I can accomplish just about any hiking task, especially if it's brushy. Open country, out in the foothills, I tend to like something with a little bit of throw, but this light does really good. Alright, this time we're going to shoot the TK51. This is going to be the secondary or wide beam only, and this will be on high. Okay, there's that TK51. Much wider beam than either the PD35 or even the H600. You can also see that it's a pretty warm beam. Colors aren't exact. They're perhaps just a little bit cooler than what I'm seeing with the eye. But you can see, I mean, it really fills the frame all the way down from the bottom here all the way up to the top. Great indoor beam, or kind of a close quarters beam, or a brush beam when you're walking in heavy brush. This is really a fantastic, one of the best beams that I've seen out of any light. It's very, very wide. Alright guys, we're going to shoot a couple different beams here at distance, and the first light that I'm going to show you is the EA4, and then we'll compare that to the TK51. Here's the Nightcore EA4, and this will be on high. Good looking beam. This has always been a kind of a little pocket rocket. 4 AA light. Never done a complete review on this one, but there's others out there, and you can see this provides a pretty good beam out there. Okay, let's compare that to the TK51. Here's the TK51. It's a warmer beam, and it's a better throwing beam. So the Nightcore is about 20,000 candela. This one's right around 35,000 candela. You can see the color coming out there, that different painted spot above the brick. Shows up a little bit better with this light. Nice beam out of this light. This is only the primary beam, not the floodlight. Alright, this time we'll compare the EA4 to both the primary and secondary beam on the TK51. Here's the EA4. And here's the TK51 with both beams on high, of course. See, it really fills in that kind of that transition period between the hot spot and the spill of the main beam, and it kind of fills in really nicely. You can see how much light is hitting that curb. Even when I move the light around, you get a lot of light out there. 1800 lumens in total. Alright, next up is the EA8, and we're going to compare that against the TK51 with both the primary and secondary beams. So here is the EA8. And this will be the TK51 with both primary and secondary beams. 1800 lumens. Boy, does that fill in the void to that throw beam. I mean, it really lights up the foreground big time. I'm amazed. It's quite a system. Really great idea, actually. Alright guys, here's the one everyone's waiting for, the TK75 and the TK51. I'll go ahead and shine the TK75 out there first. Of course, this is going to be on high. Now it does light up the foreground a lot. However, it's not as smooth. You can see it's a little flowery. You see the kind of the petals from the reflectors. Alright, so it's a little bit different. Not quite as smooth. And up here at the roof line, watching the spill beam in the TK75, it's not quite as bright in the TK75 as it is with the TK51. Obviously, this is an awesome light. It's one of my favorite. This is a Gen 1, 2600 lumens. Let's go to the TK51. Okay, there's the TK51. You can see some good light out there. The biggest difference between these two lights, other than the raw lumen difference, 1800 lumens as opposed to 26 or 2900 lumens, depending on what version you have, is the smoothness of the beam and the usability of that wide-angle reflector. And I'm going to be covering all this on the desktop, but it's easier to relate to as you're staring at it. You can see up here on the roof line from that spill beam, it really lights up that roof. And if it's not evident here on the video shots, the video beam shots, you might go over to Candle Power Forums, check out that thread. I'll put a link in the description box, and you can see still shots of these different lights. Alright guys, this last comparison is going to be the TM26 to the TK51, and you're going to notice this is going to be a lot brighter, but it's got twice as many LEDs. There you are. We actually put this one in there at the request of one of the Candle Power Forums members, and since we had to reshoot the video anyhow, decided to include it. Anywhere where that spill is falling, it's real bright. Although it is a narrower beam overall, it doesn't have quite the wideness in the spill of the TK51. Let's go to the TK51. There's your TK51, a lot less lumens, talking 1800 as compared to 3500 in the TM26. But the spill is fantastic, and it's a warmer beam out of this light too. I really like the color of the TK51. It doesn't suffer from any blueness at all, in my opinion. It does really, really nicely. Back to the TM26. Again, a whole gob of lumens. That is quite the wall of light. It's got a very smooth transition between the spill and the spot. No doubt helped by 4 XML LEDs. It tends to kind of blend everything together. And back to the TK51. Alright, let's go ahead and see what these beams look like in actual use. This is going to be the PD35, Fenix PD35 on high. Alright, the next light I'd like to show here is the Zebra Light H600, and this will be on high. And the TK51 with its secondary beam on high. lot more. This is going to make a much better walking light. All right, that ended abruptly. That was me whipping around, reaching for my sidearm. There was a piece of plastic blowing under my car, and I'm out here in kind of a remote lot, and so it got my attention, that's for sure. All right, let's proceed.